welcome back to Clash of Culture as we enter the 2023 college football season. We're just going to be talking about major storylines as we get into the season. So as you guys know, it's Friday. Tomorrow we get a full slate of college football games for the first time in obviously months. So with that, we just want to talk about the things that we expect to see, anticipate, and storylines going into the season. But before we get into college football, so much news, so much going on the channel. So we thank you guys for the love and support. We ask that you guys continue to like, subscribe, and click that notification button so that you're always up to date with what's going on. So things like the Discord channel, you'll see the link below. If you haven't joined the Discord channel, especially getting to Saturday, that's where we're going to be talking. We're going to be kind of live chatting, going back and forth, giving our thoughts on what's going on, play by play, game by game. So please join the Discord. It should be fun. At 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be giving away a very cool Heisman signed college football jersey, and we'll do it much like we did at the 250 subscribers jersey giveaway. And also we have the pickem. This may be, this may be your last opportunity to get in the pickem if you haven't already. So please, that should be fun as well. We're going to be doing live updates on the show, where we are, who's winning, some trash talking, I'm sure, in the comment section. So if you haven't already, please join the pick'em. That should be fun. With that being said, Stephen, what are some of the storylines? What are some of the things that you were thinking about as we get into this 2023 college football season, baby?
Well, so obviously, I think probably the biggest one is the Alabama quarterback situation. I'm really excited to see in this first game, Alabama, and then even next week with the Texas game, to kind of see who gets the starting nod here. I know Nick Saban just came out and said either today or yesterday that he's not releasing the depth chart.
He said he's not releasing a depth chart at all.
Yeah, because he doesn't want players to kind of get indulged in that and distracted.
Well, can I talk? Let me anchor down right there real fast. I think that is a product of the transfer portal. I think Nick Saban doesn't want
to dip out
to say, "Oh, I'm third string." So I don't even think he's releasing it to players, because what he wants to do is obviously take a couple of weeks, figure out who. I'm sure you're going to see, especially in some of these easier games that Alabama plays, a bunch of players play. But what you don't want is to tell some young player, I'm a third stringer, I'm a freshman behind another freshman, I'm never going to get to play, I'm out. Again, that's my thoughts. Maybe I'm tripping on that.
No, that makes sense. I didn't think about it that way, because if he were to release it, people would probably jump in the portal right now, to be honest.
Yes.
And just try to get out of here, get out of Dodge. But that's the first one. The second one, I'm going to say it, but I'm going to go ahead and let you kind of speak about it. And that's your Buckeyes announcing Kyle McCord as a starter.
Yes.
But with Lewis still going to get some time at the quarterback position. But how do you feel about that?
Devin Brown.
I'm sorry. I don't know. You know what's crazy? Devin Lewis is my friend. That's why I said that. From when I played Pop Warner. That's kind of crazy. Yeah. I don't know why I said Lewis.
I remember old Devin Lewis. Yeah.
I don't know why I said Lewis. That's kind of funny.
I think this is what we thought. I think going into this, we believed that Kyle McCord was going to be the starting quarterback. Obviously, he's been there. He is a junior. This is a guy that battled C.J. Stroud for the starting position. At one point, if you guys don't know, he also went to the same high school as Marvin Harrison Jr., so they already have some chemistry. I think Devin Brown brought a different element. He has the ability to move a little bit, to pick up some yards with his feet. And I think that element is what kept him in the competition much longer than, again, I think some of us suspected. But I think Cal McCord, his ability to work from the pocket. And I think with this Ohio State team this year, on offense, is all about getting the ball to playmakers and who can do that the best. So I don't think you need as dynamic of a quarterback. I think you need a guy who can distribute the ball. And Kyle McCord's probably a little bit better working from the pocket. I think we'll see them both. And I think we'll see them both for a good piece of the season until we get into those big games. Even I think you may see them both during the Notre Dame game. I wouldn't be surprised if Devin Brown doesn't have a package or two. But I think as we get in a Big Ten play, as we get ready for the Penn State-Michigan game, you'll see probably Kyle McCord anchor that position down a little bit more.
And in all honesty, I probably should have started with this, but I think quarterback situations as a whole are a big storyline this year. I mean, you have Ohio State, you have Oregon State, you have Tennessee, you have Notre Dame, you have Clemson. So there's a lot of Alabama. So there's a lot of teams, obviously, even Florida,
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia, yeah, Georgia as well. There's a lot of teams who are really up at the top, the pinnacle of college football, in the top 15 or so, 20, who are penciling in new starting quarterbacks. So that's going to be, I mean, the quarterback position is, probably the most important position on a football team. So it's going to be very interesting to see some of these teams either flop or because of that quarterback position, or thrive tremendously, like Notre Dame and Sam Hartman. I expect him to be really good, but
Yeah.
Alabama could take a step back because of the quarterbacks. Georgia could, Clemson could. We don't really know. So I'm interested to see that. Is there any kind of storylines that you
Yeah,
have?
one of my biggest storylines is, can Georgia three-peat? And I think if Kirby Smart is able to pull off a three-peat, you have to start talking about him in that who's the best college football coach. And again, I am not trying to get at Nick Saban's legacy. So I'm going to say who is the best college football coach right now. He may at that point in time deserve that mantle. This is a guy that obviously was able to reload last year from a great defense the year before. And again, by all intents and purposes, I think he at least deserves some benefit that he was able to do that last year going into this year. Obviously, now he's doing it with some different circumstances. Again, a number of players are now in the NFL. He's doing it for the first time without Stetson Bennett, the heady quarterback, playing quarterback. So now you got to do it with Carson Beck, a new quarterback. And we'll see if they are able to come out and continue to look dominant, if they're able to go 15-0 and get that national championship. We now have to put Kirby Smart in a different category, and we have to put him. And again, I'm not talking about the totality of his career, but right now we got to put him in that Nick Saban category as probably tier one in terms of college football coaches. If he hasn't earned that, I'm sure in many Georgia players' minds, he's already earned that. What's your thoughts on Georgia this year and their march towards the three-peat?
Yeah, if they three-peat, I think that would be absolutely insane. Not only because obviously it's crazy for these past 3 seasons, but then that shows recruits like, yeah, if I want to win a championship, I need to go to Georgia. And obviously Alabama has had that kind of mantra for the last 10 seasons. I know Clemson had the little 2 out of 3 years or 2 out of 4 years run with the national championships. But they we kind of slowed back a little bit. But now that if Georgia happens to three, I think even if Georgia makes it to the national championship game, I think even then recruits are looking at them like, I don't have to go to Alabama to get to the league or win rings anymore. I can go.
At what point? And this is off the cuff. At what point do you consider a team like in that dynasty conversation? Like, would a three-peat put Georgia in that dynasty conversation?
I think a three-peat does. And I think even if they make it to the national championship, I think it does as well. I don't remember off the top of my head. So they obviously went back to back. The year before that, did they make the playoffs or no?
Oh, I cannot remember. I can't.
So they won it in 2022. Remember. They won it in 2021, and then 2020 had to have been Alabama.
Let me look this up over it.
Yeah, 2020 national or
2020 is the year. I know Alabama won. That's the Mac Jones year. They beat Ohio State in the national championship. We beat Clemson. I don't know who Alabama beat. That's the Justin Fields year. Devontae Smith was the Heisman.
They beat Notre Dame.
They were in. Who did? Okay, so
they beat Notre Dame. Yeah,
so Georgia wasn't in. Okay,
so Georgia was not in. So you got to think about it. If they make it to the national championship game, that's 3 straight national championships. You win 2 out of 3, and that's just if they lose the national championship game. So I think if they make it to the national championship game, it is officially a dynasty. I think if they make the playoffs, it's kind of hard to put them there, just because Clemson. I wouldn't really consider Clemson a dynasty, and Clemson went to the playoffs like 6 straight seasons and went to the national championship like 4 or 5 times in a row or something.
Yeah, the only reason I wouldn't consider Clemson a dynasty is only because there was a team that won more championships in their little run. Yeah. So I would consider them, like, when you talk about that time period, especially since the college football playoffs, I think you got to talk about them as one of the teams. But I would call this Alabama's time. And that makes, I don't think you can have 2 teams and call them both dynasties when covering the same era.
Yeah, no, for sure. But the next kind of storyline I want to get into is Colorado. I think that's one of the biggest ones for me, at least. I think obviously we had dialogue on this channel for the last 2 months on them. we're gonna see this week. Oh yeah, I guess this week. This kind of sounds weird saying that because college football starts this soon. We're gonna
Yes.
see this week, tomorrow actually, because this video comes out Friday, how they look against TCU. Those of you guys who were here in December, me and my friend Christian had a bet on the USC Tulane game. I bet him $250 on USC beating Tulane, and I lost that bet. I had to send him
That is
$250.
crazy. It's
So
crazy.
we have
USC
another
Ocean.
we have another bet
You and
on
Christian?
TCU Colorado. We only bet $40 though, so
He
I bet
took who?
$40. Who you think he took? Come on, bro.
He took Colorado?
Yeah,
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think you would take
yeah,
Colorado.
yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't bet $1 on Colorado. So I
But
think
let me see.
hold on. I think my kind of synopsis on them is it's a win season if they go at least 5-7. If they go 5-7, then I'm like, okay, like I see the progress. But I think if they go, 2-10, 3-9, then I'm not gonna say we look at them differently, but it's like there was so much hype coming into this game. I mean, coming into the season for them to be 2-10. It's like you were 1-11 last year and you brought in all this talent. So I would like to go at least 5-7. I'm not saying be bowl eligible, but 5-7 would be a good mark for them.
Yeah, starting with this week, I think what this week is about is them competing. It's about them staying in this game, showing some life. Obviously, again, you come off of 111. I don't care how many transfers you bring in. You come off 111. That means the cupboard was pretty bare. So if you can then go at least toe to toe with the team that, remember, and obviously there's some change in roster, but this TCU team was in the national championship game last year. If you can at least make this a game where they have to keep playing for 4 quarters, I think that's a win. I think that's a win for Colorado. If this is a watchable game, that's a win for Colorado and the continued progression. Obviously, Colorado's even the team we're talking about because Deion Sanders is one of the biggest names in football, period. So the fact that they are getting so much press, so much hype, has a lot to do with Deion Sanders. And one, he has the ability to draw people in. He's going to get recruits, but I think it almost would also be bad. And as much as I'm rooting for Colorado, and you guys have heard me say it in this channel, it also would be bad because what that would mean is there's no process, right? That I could go take any team and I could go get 40 transfer players. So if I am if I'm a coach that goes to a bad team, I'm going to clear the roster and I'm going to try to bring in as many transfers as possible. I think I want to see a process. I want to see them go from maybe obviously 1 win last year to, like Steven said, maybe 5 wins next year, maybe 8 wins the year after that, maybe 10 wins and fighting for a conference championship. I just want to see a process. I want to see some struggle to kind of show that, one, Deion Sanders has some staying power. Hey, as long as you're continuing to, as we say in the Navy, trend to the right, as long as you're continuing to show progress, he'll be fine. As long as every year you're getting a little bit more wins and you're showing a little bit more on the field, I think he'll be fine. But I don't want this, almost microwaved winning team. And I've been one for chemistry. And again, if it happens, I am the biggest. Deion Sanders is my favorite football player of all time. So I am the biggest Deion Sanders fan in maybe the world. But I think that would be bad for college football. I think big name coaches could then transfer, clear out a roster, and just bring in transfer portal players. And I don't think that's the way that college football even wants things to be done.
I get that. So I mean, we'll have to see. Those are the major storylines here that we cover on Clash of Cultures. Tomorrow is the day that we've been waiting for a while now. All the top 25 matchups with the majority. Obviously, we have the games on Sunday. We have the game on Monday. So we can't wait for those. But we're actually going to do the live show tomorrow after all of the games are done. It'll be an emergency live show. So the live show will be Saturday instead of Sunday this week. So make sure you guys keep the notification bell on so you guys don't miss that. We're probably going to go live around 10 or so Eastern. I know that's a little late, but that's when the games are probably going to finish up, at least the major games. So make sure you guys come tune in with us. If you guys haven't already, join the Discord so you know when we're going to go live. We're going to be talking in there throughout the duration of the games. But we can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we have some upsets. Hopefully we have some crazy games to kind of react to. But we will see you guys tomorrow after all the games. Peace out.